Ladies and gentlemen, we had an idea of doing our sneakers of the year for the Top Shelf TV, but we realized that we all have our own opinions and our own list. So because of that, I figured we'll do a quick discussion of sneaker of the year and kind of make it a separate video. So I don't know where exactly we have to begin. I guess by saying that 2022 was a great year of sneakers, and you know, not any list is right or wrong. Not any opinion is right or wrong. These are just all of our personal opinions. We all have a rough list of 10 shoes or 10 collaborations or 10 whatever that we really appreciated this year, and I think we're going to go down the line and each mention one, and as we each mention one, it might spark a conversation about that shoe or something else that we remember. So I guess we're going to start. Evan, if you want to mention one of your first sneakers that are on your top 10 list. Again, if it's not in order, try to start off with some of the stuff that you don't really like the most. Let's try to end with like what we think are the bangers or what we think is the sneaker of the year. And again, like I told Jordan earlier, as hard as it is, you got to try to make that what is your personal number one shoe of the year. As hard as it is, you got to give it to us at the end of the discussion. So Evan, please start off.
So starting out for my number 10, the black penny Tues, the Stussy black.
Wow, that's interesting because this morning I was gonna buy the black and green ones because they're
still on Nike.
Yeah. Oh, they're on Nike.
Yeah, they're still on there.
Oh, if they're in my size, if they're on Nike, I'll buy them because then I can return them if they don't fit. Are you sure my size? Full size?
I know my size is for
sure. Interesting. So you like those?
So I chose those because it's something a little bit different. I normally don't really like all black sneakers, but I don't know, for some reason those are hard. I even like the green pair. That made my list just because it's something different, and it just made the list like at the end of the year there.
Wow, that's interesting. And piggybacking off a discussion there, that makes me think about the Air Max Penny 1 retroing this year. Me meeting Penny and having him sign that shoe for me back then, and at one of my first sneaker con, well, not my first sneaker con, but you know, a sneaker con that like I had a table at. That makes me think that should be in my top 10, but I don't have it in there because I didn't like get them yet to wear, and I've already had that shoe before, so I guess that's why I don't look at it that way. But that's a good shoe. Jordan, what's one of your shoes? So yeah, I guess if someone mentions the shoe that you're about to mention, just you might as well mention it then, because unless you like it a way more.
Like, I don't have it on my list, but that's Stussy though. That is a shoe that I like. I like all black sneakers, but that's one that's like an honorable mention for me. Number 10, I would put the Slade Crocs. Probably the green because that's the one I have. I like the black too, but the sizing on them are really funny. But just having that shoe and just wearing Crocs is just like, they just made it a little bit funkier. They made the Croc cooler basically. They added a little pizzazz to it. It's a clean collaboration. I feel like it goes with everything and anything. You could dress it up, dress it down. Kids can wear it, moms can wear it, dads can wear it. I just think it's a really cool collab, and it's one of those sneakers where, or not even sneakers, shoes where someone looks down at your feet like literally what are those? And it's like, you know, it's a Slade Bembry Croc. I like the detail on how like it's his thumbprint basically, so that's how he got the design. The box is cool. It's a little bit chunkier than a regular Croc, and it's just a cool shoe to me. Like that top 10, I had a tough time figuring out, but
I'd definitely throw the black Crocs that just released. Those were in my honorable mentions.
As a group, you know, being able to produce those for people to be able to get them. I know last year, right, we couldn't, well, 2 years ago, they came out only select colors and they weren't really obtainable. Now that they're obtainable for anybody, even for $80, $100 purchase person, that's great because, you know, it's good. So I do agree with Jordan on that one. That was definitely something that was kind of almost made it to my list as a whole, because I think it's cool for the, you know, sneaker culture to have those.
So originally my 10th shoe was gonna be the Fire Red 3, but it has changed to yeah.
Wow. I was not expecting
I wasn't expecting
that. It
that.
has changed to the Chicago 2. I say originally because the Fire Red 3, I remember in 6th grade elementary school, that's one of the first 3s, like even before the White Cement 3, the True Blue 3, that was like one of the first 3s that really caught my eye. My boy had it with the dark elephant print, and I was like, damn, like, I maybe consider getting to Jordans one day. And then I really like that shoe, and I like how it's like different. The iteration is different than last year's pair. I switched it with the Chicago 2 just because of what the 2 is. I figured I'd put that 2 there because it's just a classic shoe. The Chicago 2 is like the 2 to get, or the one that he wore, and just a clean shoe. You could dress it up, dress it down. I've seen people wear sweats with it and just kill the fit. And the Chicago 2 is like it was a great way. It's one of the shoes that ended the year off really well. And the fact that Jordan Brand is now listening, or at least considering going back to the OGs, especially like the 2 model, is what I really liked and enjoy about that shoe. So I definitely had to put that there just to at least like end the year off.
I'd agree with that.
That too is very nice.
I kind of forgot about about that shoe, I'm not gonna lie.
I can't put it in my top 10 just because I feel like it's so close to 2023. It's hard for me to put in there. Yeah, I don't know, but I definitely see it being deserving of being in the top 10, even top 5, or even top 1. I wouldn't, just in hand, that shoe's crazy. It's really, really crazy in hand.
You said if you have that, should I say where I have it at? Because I have it on my list too. So should I say?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have that shoe as well. I'm currently organizing my list right now. So I have that somewhere around between like 4 to 6. I have that shoe.
That's pretty up there.
That's dope. I just want to start off by saying I think so much stuff released that it's so hard to get to a narrow top 10. I just want to mention some honorable mentions real quick before I get into my 10. First off, I'm not a Yeezy guy, but the fact that I feel like the Turtle Doves came out this year and the Pirate Blacks came back out this year, right? All that stuff is pretty crazy to happen, as well as the Wave Runners and all the restocks of the Yeezys, especially the Turtle Dove just being, that was the first Adidas Yeezy, right?
Yes.
Or that was the first 350?
First 350.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was the high top 7.
The 7.
Oh no, yeah.
750 gray with
the
the white.
first
Was that the first?
It was the first V1 though. 350 low, like the.
But anyways, the Turtle Dove is a big deal. I've always hated Yeezys, so for me it's not. But just again, I think a lot of the stuff on my list is more about what impact that sneaker had on what's been going on. Another honorable mention I want to talk about is how like Iverson and T-Mac, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, what the heck? But like there's a lot of cool Reeboks that got re-retro this year. The Shaq Attacks, the Iverson Answers, the Questions, Zoom Flight 95, Jason Kidd's, like a lot of the nostalgic basketball stuff that I like to see came back out this year. So that's just kind of an honorable mention. But
just to piggyback off of you, I put Turtle Doves in my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
For mine, but just because that's my
that's
favorite.
a big deal, man.
It is a big deal, and that shoe was, it's a grail for a lot of people. I don't know about now because it got re-released and all that, but for me especially, like those, the Wave Runners, there's very few Yeezys that I really, really, really wanted. The Turtle Doves are definitely one of them.
I have a curveball for my number 10, I guess you could say, because I don't know which shoe to put there, so I'm just gonna put 2 shoes there. It's gonna be the Auburn Bo Jackson Trainer SC, and also the Air Trainer 1 Mid Chlorophyll. I think both of those shoes, they might not get a lot of shine, but they're just like a really big deal in sneaker world coming up for me, at least remembering seeing those sneakers. Chlorophylls, I know I was able to get those on Nike. I haven't worn them yet because they run a little small for me, but it's just really cool when they bring stuff like that back. I know the Chlorophylls came with the cool retro E-Box. The Auburn Trainers don't really, go for much, but again, that's kind of like an old head shoe to me. I think those are nice, and it's cool that they brought them back. So I think Bo Jackson style sneakers, you could say, are my number 10 with those 2 there, neck and neck.
I mean, while we're here, why don't we talk about our honorable mentions? What's some shoes, I guess, for you guys that didn't make your list that was right there though?
For starters, the Silver Bullet. That Silver Bullet, just whenever they bring it back, I just like how 90s it looks, and I like how vintage it looks. I just really enjoy seeing that silhouette being re-retroed.
I put also the Stussy Air Force 1 Mid.
Oh wow.
I put those in honorable mention. The Jackie Robinson Dunk.
Yeah, that was...
Before you continue, I want to piggyback off the Stussy. It's not the Mid, it's the 2013 Air Max. I was torn between those and the Crocs. It was just really tough for me. At the end of the day, I gotta go with the Croc. But that Air Max, again, is just a clean colorway. It's very simple. Stussy for me is like it's been one of my favorite brands lately. Off the fact of just what they've been putting out, I like how they like to go back in the archives, mess with collab or mess with sneakers that like you wouldn't really necessarily choose as an everyday type of shoe. Like the Penny Tues, like that was just a fire collab to me. I know it's not going for much, it's not going for anything honestly, but it's just a clean collab. So it's funny you say that because I agree that Mid, both Mids
I think fire. The Mid and the Air Max are up there. Actually the Air Max for me they're higher up in my list for sure. The Air Max are.
They're on my list as well.
I gotta wear one too. It's a Converse. It's the Stussy Converse, the green one.
I know what you're talking
about.
Again, those are
it's a weird, funky sneaker, but again, it's just something that like as I try to get away from certain things, it's just that's just like I like Chucks, but like I feel like high Chucks don't look good on me. I feel like low ones do. So like the 1 stars to me are just like really fire. The green ones with the 8 ball, the cream lace is just really fire.
Another honorable mention I had that didn't make my list that I really kind of wanted to put in my list was the Rick and Morty's because they did actually release last year.
I like how the 2 shoes are different. A lot of people don't like that, the mismatch. I personally like it, and I'm also a huge fan of the Rick and Morty series. So to see that show and Puma did a collab and LaMelo, was really, really dope. And funny enough, that shoe actually is like one of our it's
selling.
Yeah, it's one of our best selling, and it's also in one of our best videos, involved in one of our best videos.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed supposed to jump that quick, but I guess I'm gonna jump that quick. I think the Rick and Morty LaMelo Ball is probably arguably sneaker of the year. I think that not seeing it in a lot of lists is weird to me because of how much of an effect it had on the sneaker market. I think a lot of people might not see it that way. I personally see it that way just because, again, guys, 3 years ago we're talking about Puma basketball. We're not talking about LaMelo. We're not even talking about Puma if we're talking about basketball sneakers in general. So the fact that, you know, that sneaker came out, it being a collaboration, it reselling for more than double. I mean, more than double consistently, being hard to find. And again, I feel like I don't know exactly when the first colorway released. I think at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. That's what makes it tough for me because I think just the LaMelo Ball series in general to me is up there with sneaker of the year. And I could argue that with anyone, regardless of like what I like and what, you know, is cool in here on the shelves, where it be Jordan, Nike, Yeezy, whatever. I just think it's crazy that Puma pulled off what they pulled off. A lot of people didn't believe in him. A lot of people didn't believe in the brand, and a lot of people didn't believe in the collaboration of Puma and LaMelo Ball. But literally, look what they've done. It's crazy. It really is crazy. And I didn't want to get there that quick, but just because Evan said it, I said, hey, I'll drop the bomb right now. That's like it for me as sneaker of the year, basically as my top 3, I guess you can say, in there for sure. But I'm not gonna say what exactly my sneaker of the year is yet. I think what LaMelo Ball and Puma did is just insane. So we're just gonna go there.
I got 2 more honorable mentions. They're the same color, but one of them I feel like you can't talk about. I feel like you have to talk about this sneaker because during this era, this was probably one of the hottest sneakers to have. The Big Bangs. It's like you jumping off the back of what you said about just like, you know, it's just basketball sneakers, stuff like that. But being in high school around that time, being like a sophomore in high school, and that pack dropped and everyone going for that shoe and the entire, like the clothing, the accessories and all that, like it was fire. Like, and to this day, it's still a fire sneaker.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's the worst part about the sneaker of the year thing is that if a sneaker really doesn't resell and you don't wear it consistently, you don't think about it. You know what I mean? That's like the sad truth. Like, I love the Big Bangs. I have the old Big Bang. Now that Jordan said that, I'm like, wow, the memories of Big Bang bring me back. They should definitely be in my sneaker of the year. But I didn't buy it this year because I had the old ones. They didn't resell, so I didn't like double up. Not that's the reason I didn't double up. I also didn't double up because like I think I can double up now, later, 10 days ago, 20. Like the price isn't gonna fluctuate that much. If anything, I don't see a rush to get them. I can wait to get them because I think maybe I'll catch them for the low ski, and that's also a beautiful thing about it. But like Jordan said, that's just crazy, and it's also sad at a point because, you know, everyone's kind of only talking about stuff that they wear all the time or stuff that they can't get or expensive stuff or stuff that's sold out. Like a lot of the stuff on my list isn't that, but I just know when we all think of sneaker of the year, we think of like what we sold the most, what people have been asking for the most, not kind of like what are those like really good shoes that they dropped that kind of went under the radar. So that's really good. One.
The second one was the Starfish ones, the highs.
Ooh,
wow.
Those are actually
I think
a sleeper.
Wow.
Those are a sleeper.
One highs.
It looks like it's like another shadow back.
That women's pair, right?
Yeah, it's a women's pair.
Yeah, it's a women's pair.
I think it's a fire sneaker because it's like,
I think those are fire.
Someone like me, like I don't have the shadow backboard 2.0, and like I don't feel like spending, like I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like spending $500-600 on a shadow backboard, especially right now. Like I'm gonna spend $500-600, like I gotta get like a Wowzer. That's just me right now. So I think that sneaker is really cool. It's really clean. The quality is really nice. There's not much to it. Just an orange and white sneaker with a little hint of brown. Again, it's just a really clean sneaker.
We had a customer come in, so we had to deal with that, but right now we're going to jump to Evan's 9th pair on his list.
So my 9th pair is a split between 2 pairs of shoes. It's Jordan 3 Fire Red, and I also put the Dark Iris.
Wow.
I put them in the same thing because they're both GRs. And I don't know, I just feel like those are both very good shoes. I mean, Fire Red, it's an obvious choice, but the Dark Iris, I think that shoe in a couple years, it might get slept on, and it might be worth some money one day, I think, in my personal opinion. I also just really like those. You can't go wrong with a 3.
Fire Red 3s were definitely in my list. The problem with Fire Red 3s is I had them in 2013 and I wore the heck out of them, and they were like not that big of a deal back then, and I kind of like did my thing with those already. Seeing the new release, they are way better, and the Nike Air is cool. They were in kind of like my 9th spot, tied with another shoe that I'll get to next, but yeah.
9, I got the Raw Amethyst. New Balance Raw Amethyst. That's my 9th one. That's what Evan's wearing now. Before Evan got him, it was a shoe that I was looking at. I don't wear navy like that, so sometimes it's really hard for me to buy like a navy sneaker or a blue sneaker. So it was just a shoe I was looking at for a while. When Evan got him, I saw him in the hand.
You mean purple, you mean?
Well, it has navy in it too. So I get weird with like navy and black, and I wear like mostly black. So it's just like one of those things where like it's just really hard for me to wear, but like I try to get out my comfort zone, stuff like that. And seeing it in person and seeing when A got on the sneaker show, I was just like, damn, like those are really, really hard. And it falls in line as one of the top New Balances for me this past year. So because I don't wear them a lot, because it's really hard for me to wear them, I have them at my 9th spot. If it was a shoe that I wore a little bit more, I'd probably have them up a lot higher, but they come in number 9 for me.
I feel like Teddy Santis also did
the red one.
He killed this.
I think
he did last year.
He did. Like, it's funny you say that because Teddy Santis did like he kind of like overpowered it. Like it was like so much.
I agree.
It was overwhelming sometimes because he dropped so many different sneakers. But like he gave us like a lot of selection for some really good prices too.
They were fighting to get on my list. I didn't put them there, but they were fighting. I kept putting them on and taking them off just because I haven't worn them yet. Did buy a bunch of them. I do think they're really good shoes. But I don't know. No New Balance made it to my list this year in particular.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean I have them. I wear them, but I just.
They're not high.
There's just too, I'm a Jordan. Growing up a Jordan guy. There's too many good Nike Jordan things, at least in my eyes, to put a New Balance on my personal list. I think last year I had the protection pack on my list. This year I'd think about the protection pack and the amethyst and other Teddy Sanchez stuff. But I don't know. I just feel like not that we were ahead of the curve because by no means we were. I just feel like I've kind of like last year I was wearing a lot of New Balance. This year I'm still wearing them, but I'm kind of going back to like my Jordan Nike thing just because I don't know, it makes me feel good even though they're not as comfortable. It just makes me feel good. Berwin 9.
Speaking about New Balance, my first New Balance on the list going up is the 9060 Joe Freshgood cookie colorway. Initially when I saw that sneaker online, I was kind of skeptical about it, but knowing me, I like trying out new silhouettes and new shoes, and I also love colors. So when I saw the first couple pictures, when he didn't fully reveal it, I got really excited, and then eventually when he dropped the whole shoe and the whole like preview of what that of the whole line, I got extremely excited. I was telling Jordan and the guys here that I really needed that sneaker. That sneaker is super comfortable, and if I'm not mistaken, it was one of the first 9060s to drop from New Balance. So the fact that Joe Freshgood introduced that model, and he was one of the first people to make a collab using that model, is really awesome. I just love the pink, the emerald green, the white, just how comfortable and how chunky it looks. I know a lot of the guys here don't like how like it looks like a designer, kind of like a Balenciaga, but me personally, like I just love that sneaker. And like I said, that 9060 model is like extremely comfortable. So that is at my 9th spot.
I have to say that as much as I don't really necessarily like those that much, I can say that being the 9060 did release this year, right? That's cool to me. Again, just a new silhouette, a new design, a bunch of new colorways, just something different. I think is very cool. I feel like when we talk about, even though I'm doing the same thing, I'm talking about re-retros. Like a lot of shoes that I like are re-retros, so it's definitely cool to sometimes just talk about a whole new silhouette, a whole new sneaker. My 9th shoe, this is a tough one, man, because like I feel like my 9th shoe is just like a mixture of a lot of other sneakers that came out this year, being a lot of retro Jordans. And I know it's going to sound stupid saying that my 9th is all these shoes, but that's just kind of how I feel. I could put these shoes in another spot, but I just feel like a lot of them are right here where they're at. And those being Midnight Navy 6s, Fire Red 3s. I think those two are like really good sneakers, as well as Citrus 7s, Cardinal 7s, and the whole purple pack of the purple 13s, the purple 5, Concord 5s, the Dark Iris 3s. I'm a really big purple fan, and I'm a really big fan of retros. So I just think a lot of the retros they did, as corny as you guys might think they are, to me are really cool. And that's just my number 9, a bunch of retros from GRs to whatever. That's my number 9 there.
Just to go off what you guys have been saying with the GRs, I think as far as 2022, they did it really well compared to like what they've been doing before that, as far as like GRs goes. Like what A was saying, that whole like Concord colorway pack, they brought back Fire 3s, Georgetown 6s. Like there are a lot of great GRs that released in 2022. You know, every time we would get them in, we'd be like, damn, these are hot.
Taxis even. the
Yeah.
yellow toes.
Yellow tees, yeah.
Even those are not bad, in my opinion.
Georgetown 6.
Georgetown 6.
Georgetown 6. The Georgetown 1s were an honorable mention. It's just that 85 cut to me. I haven't wore them yet, and I just don't enjoy wearing them that much. I guess, you know what, I'll go 8, and then we can go back down the line 8. I'm just gonna go, the 8th would be the LV Air Force line. I think I don't have them. Wouldn't necessarily think that they're best investment or best purchase, or could I afford them? I don't really know if I see myself being like that type of guy, but I just think it's really cool that Louis Vuitton collab with a Nike Air Force One. I grew up trying to get a pair of Air Force Ones every year, so it's just cool to see that. I'm not gonna put them as my number one because I feel like they kind of can't be number one unless you're that type of guy who actually wears them all the time, and they should be in the list because it's just really cool when a designer brand collab with Nike. Speaking of that, I was thinking the other day, talking to my guy, when is Ralph Lauren gonna collab with Air Jordan? I mean, come on, that. I mean, that would just be.
I think of Ralph Lauren, I'm thinking brands right now. Only brand I can really think about is New Balance, really.
That's my dream collab. But Berwin, you can go on to your number 8.
So for number 8, probably a weird one for all you guys out there, but for all my trainer heads out there, it's the ASIC Gel Cayano 14. I was kind of late to the party as far as copping that sneaker, but initially when I saw the release and I saw pictures of it, I'm like, damn, I really needed those. I like the silver with the white, but I also like the first one, the one that everyone went for, which is that more black silver colorway. I've been meaning to get into more Asics and more trainers like that. I think Asics are sometimes swept under the rug, or they're underrated, but I feel like the collab with Jown, that whole line that they came out with was pretty fire. They're super comfortable from what I've experienced with them so far, and I just love how lightweight and how popped out they look with the silver. So it's a weird one, but for number 8, I'm gonna put the ASIC Jown Cayano 14, specifically that black and silver one, just because it's a really cool looking sneaker.
I'm not gonna say too much on that shoe, but it's just a very simple, clean shoe. I'm a fan of those. Unfortunately, resale is crazy on them.
Yeah,
so.
it's ridiculous.
I agree. I like that shoe too. It's another good shoe that dropped last year, but I wouldn't put it in my top 10. Number 8 for me, I have the Joe Fresh Good pack, the 993s. I really do like that pack. Not really slept on, but I feel like that pack's been getting a little bit of slander lately on podcasts and panels and stuff like that. I just think those 3 are just really cool. It's not really a winter fall sneaker, but it is definitely going to be a great summer and springtime sneaker. Get 3 different colorways. They're all pastel. They're all soft colors. Still need the pink pair, but I really do love that pack.
I had that a little bit higher up.
It's part of my top 5. Just because that whole line, what Joe Fresh has been doing with New Balance, has been crazy, and I believe it's his last,
I think so.
Collab with New Balance. So definitely have to get the whole pack. All those colors are crazy. The green, the pink, the blue, the way they pop, and the suede and the quality is just crazy as well. It's funny because you guys have seen me unbox every single one of them on the channel, so really love that pack.
Okay, so for me, I chose, where are we at, 8? I chose the Tom Sachs General Purpose. I chose both colorways because I do like both colorways. I just think it's something different. We haven't seen that model before. I really do like Tom Sachs shoes normally. I don't own a pair, but maybe one day. Yeah, I put those in my list.
I have those on my list too, but I have it a lot higher.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say where I have it, yet, but I do have it a lot higher.
Yeah.
I have those. Is it too early to say it?
I mean,
it's up to you.
It's up to you, I guess.
I have those higher on my list.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So I guess Evan, you can go to 7.
Go to 7? Alright. So for my 7, it's a little bit weird because, obviously it's shoe of the year, but it's for me, it's shoes of the year that I want. So for me, I put the brown and black Jowns, if you know which ones those are, the 990 V3s. With the black midsole, I slept on those, and the more I look at them, the more I want them.
That came out with the green one?
Yeah.
After,
or
I think, or before.
Yeah, it was either after or
Okay.
before. I slept on it. I'm not usually a big fan of black midsole sneakers, but those are hard. So I threw those in my list.
7 for me. Again, I think they did a really good job this year with SBs. I have the Barts at number 7. Again, it's another funky sneaker that's out of my element. I don't get to wear it all the time. It's really hard for me to wear because again, it's loud, and I'm the total opposite. I like black basically. It was just really cool, It was just a cool sneaker. The green laces were fire. The red laces were fire. Adding white laces in it was fire as well. Different colors that they did with it. It was just a cool sneaker to me, and I thought it was a great sneaker. The timing of the release was really great of the summertime. So that's number 7 for me.
Alright, number 7 for me. You guys already mentioned it, but I'll bring it up again. These Stussy Air Max. Canvas, sand, creamish looking pairs is absolutely fire. The material is crazy, and I just like it a little bit more just because it reminds me of the Spiridon Spiridons. And the Stussy Spiridons are just one of my favorite shoes of all time. It's a different sneaker. The silhouette is different. The materials on it is different. And I just like how canvasy and like light it feels. And the fact that it's on an Air Max and the fact that it's by Stussy is just insane. And like Jordan said earlier, I've been getting to Stussy a lot recently as well. And Stussy has just been killing it with their sneaker collabs with Nike. Just in general, they've been going crazy this year. So I had to put that at number 7. The Stussy Air Max is just comfortable. Not just that tan one, but that pink one and that black one as well.
I'm gonna throw a curveball here, man. We were kind of talking about this earlier. Out of respect, I think I'm gonna put in the Sweet 16 Kobe here.
That's great.
Just out of respect for, you know, RIP to Kobe and Gigi, and just that was a very big deal. And you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Kobe's. I'm not the biggest fan of trying to make money off of a shoe like that. So we kind of had a thing in here that we weren't really trying to buy them because I don't know, I just didn't really feel good about it. But with that being said, for the people who really like Kobe and really wanted that sneaker, I think it was awesome that Nike put them out. You know, for everyone who got them to wear and kind of collect, I think it's an amazing piece of kind of memorabilia to kind of like remember Kobe and Gigi in a really phenomenal way. Even though I would never wear a Kobe, well, no, I'd wear the Grinches, but I wouldn't really wear any other Kobe. I think I'd wear the Grinches. But anyways, you know, I'd never really wear Kobe's. You know, again, seeing Nike do that, I think it's really cool. And for everyone who was able to get them, I think they really appreciated them. So there's that. I'll just jump into 6. I guess 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 would be Lost and Found 1s. I have Chicago 1s from 2015, 94, 85, whatever. And I have multiple pairs from 2015. How I feel about how they gave out Lost and Found, so now, you know, like Chicago's aren't as cool, doesn't really matter. I think the way they executed the Lost and Found was awesome. I hit for them for retail on the app, so it makes me feel like some people who deserve them hit because I felt like I deserve them, because I don't know, I just feel like I do. I've been on Nike app forever. I've been missing on ones, trying to buy every one. It's not like I'm reselling the pair I got. They're going to stay in the collection. And you know, the presentation, everything about that shoe, I don't hate hearing it being number 1 for a lot of people, and you know, I can agree and disagree with that. But for me, they can't be number 1 just because, like, you know, kind of been there, done that type of thing. It sounds weird because like my number 1 shoe is a shoe that I've been there and did too. But I think the way Jordan Brand's kind of using that Lost and Found is a little weird, just because like they put out all these ones that aren't doing well just to put out one that everyone really wants, trying to spark up the kind of one love again. I don't know, it's a great shoe. Number 6, that's kind of it. I figured it's on your guys' list.
It's funny you said that. I have it literally at 6 as well.
Really?
Oh wow.
Exactly at 6. Again, I think it could be number 1, it could be 2, it could be 3.
It's hard when you have the 2015.
Yeah, it's just hard for me because I currently wear my 2015s, and that 2015 for me was always that shoe. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go out on the town tonight, I'm gonna go away for the weekend, I'm gonna go to dinner. I know I can throw on my 2015s and just feel a different sort of way. Now I can't do that because the Lost and Founds are out, and I just don't think the Lost and Founds would like give me that same type of feel. And it's just kind of like making something that was so hard to acquire so easy to acquire. Again, the appreciation for it, and I think what it does to collecting, the culture of collecting, and kind of the whole story is really cool. So shout out to Jordan Brand on that one. That's my number 6.
I think A hit it on the nail. Like, there's not much for me to say. Just to piggyback off what he said, I remember like I wanted the 2015s. You know, I really wanted it. So when I was able to obtain it, when it came to the store and I was able to get it and trade up for it and whatever, it was like a really great feeling. The Lost and Found pair, it is still a great sneaker. I still stand by that. It's the worst Chicago out of the entire pack from like 95 on to now. It's a different feel when I put on my 2015s. It's just like I can't put on the Lost and Founds over my 2015s. It just feels disrespectful to do something like that. Like, I don't know if I'll ever wear my my Lost and Founds. I don't know when I'll wear them. You know, it's still a good sneaker, but I just think off of like, you know, off the culture and stuff like that, and having that shoe, I think it's respectable to put that shoe in my top 10, especially like someone like Burn who really wanted a Chicago and won that sneaker. So I have it at number 6 as well.
So my number 6 is gonna be like kind of the crazy one, just a little bit. It's the white and orange Airship. When that sneaker came to the store, all of us didn't even know that those came out. Like, we saw pictures and knew that they were coming out. We just didn't know when they were coming out, and when they came to the store and my size, I just had to grab them. I always see A wearing his Airship from the, what pack is that again? New Beginnings? New Beginnings pack, and I've always wanted them. Just as similar to a Jordan 1, but like the quality and the make of the Airship is just insane. And like I said, whenever I see A wear his, I've always wanted to get a personal pair myself. Didn't want to buy that New Beginnings airship just because of how expensive it is. But the fact that Jordan Brand is coming out with new colors and a wider release, just bringing back the airship motto is really cool. And with a sneaker like that, you can beat those to the ground and they'll look just as good as when you got them. I just really like the airship motto, and now that I have a pair, I feel like A wearing them. So.
It's actually a really good feeling, and as much as I wanted to put the Ama airship on my list, I just felt a little too bougie doing that. I'm with Berwin on the white and orange pair. Like, when you first get to that shoe and you're able to wear it for a year or a couple months, that's when you really love it. I feel like I'd be double backing on saying again I want the airship, because I've already, like, that was my sneaker of the year 2 years ago for 2020, and it's still probably my top, like, one of my favorite shoes to wear and whatever. But looking back, maybe the Ama airship should be on my list, but I have them, I don't wear them, and I'm kind of upset about how much money they were. I don't know, I just felt like they could have been a little cheaper. Maybe they could have made more 11.5, so mine was a little cheaper. I don't know, but the airship feeling is a feeling. So if you're out there and you're thinking about a shoe that's going to make you feel good and that you could rock every day, rain, sleet, snow, fall, summer, Berwin, tell them.
Cop it.
Airship, grab one. Any colorway, just beat them up. Them white and green ones that are coming out. Ooh.
Oh, I'm gonna need those.
Yeah, those are going to be interesting. But anyway, that's a good number 6.
6 for me is going to be...
Wait, Jordan, you already... Oh, yeah, you already
Yep.
went. Right.
6 for me is going to be the 2002R protection pack, the pink pair. I'm putting those up there. I had a Teddy Santis there as well, but I already did a Teddy Santis, so I feel like it's a good shoe. I had the shoe, I didn't get it in the right size, so I still need to get my size on that shoe. So
Navy was close for me because I wear the navy quite a bit. Like Jordan said, sometimes it's hard to get like a navy shoe that you can wear with like a lot of stuff that's navy, or it's hard to wear navy shoes because you wear black a lot. Like, I'm similar. I remember getting the protection pack navy pair and just knowing like that they're finally available. It just felt good to wear them and know I'm not like I can go get them again. And then they restocked and everyone was kind of able to get them, so that was cool. They didn't make them to my top 10 list just because of the original protection packs being there, but I definitely see that being a very nice shoe.
do you want me to go to 5s directly?
Yeah, man.
Alright, so for 5 I got the Joe Freshgood pack, that whole pastel pack. I have that in that spot.
This might be unpopular opinion, but I don't know how those shoes make it to anyone's top 10 this year. I'm just like again, this is all opinion based, and I think that's the most beautiful part about it. Same with the Stussy Air Max. Like, to me,
Right.
those are like, and y'all love them, and that's
I really like them.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But like, it's just funny to me to like Easter pack, but I get it.
It's
cool.
not for everyone.
No, of
It's
course.
not.
And
That's
I'm
not for
not I'm not saying it's like that bad. I just like,
just not
I wouldn't
even-
put those over the Amethyst. I wouldn't put them over the red Teddy Santis shoe they did. The one I got them recently. I forget which one.
the
I wouldn't even put them
burgundy?
over the
Burgundy?
navy pair that he did with a little bit of light blue and a little bit of red. This one for like retail, basically. Just me personally, I like that style more. The pinkish whatever. But it's really cool because it's, you know, a
Yeah,
pack,
so yeah, I chose that. Just something different,
Yeah.
pastel pack. The colors are cool, in my opinion, like Easter colors almost, but yeah.
My 5, I already said already. I said it was between 4 to 6, but when I numbered all my shoes, it came out to number 5. So the Chicago Tues, again, just thinking that I need to have. I'm not in no rush to get them, but again, it just Tues just bring me back. You know, I feel like an old man saying that, but I just remember when Tues in that era, and my brother bringing a pair home and stealing my brother's sneakers and stuff like that. So that's just one of those shoes that I need for like the springtime. I don't even wear it now. I'll just save it for the springtime. It's just one of those sneakers. It's something that Jordan wore. It's just really fire. I never had the Chicago Tues. I've always wanted it. So now that they re-retro it, I'm happy I'm able to get a pair now.
My 5 was Evan 6, and it is the pink protection pack. Initially, when the protection pack came out the first time, I did want that gray one, but then everyone started getting them, and I was like, ah. But that pink one just screamed my name, because I love colors, and I love stuff that like pops out. When New Balance Instagram, posted pics that those are coming out, I was like, damn, that might be my protection pack to buy. Paid resale on them, but they did dip a little bit from when they came out. I just knew when they came out I needed them. They're one of my favorite pairs of the protection pack. That pink is just amazing. I was planning on getting that purple one, but it just looks a little more blue. Really happy with the pink pair. Definitely love having it up there. This is my top 5. I will continue to keep trashing and wearing that sneaker. So the pink protection pack was my number 5.
My number 5 is the Black Military 4. I think that was a very, very, very good Jordan sneaker. I don't know what more you can really say. Growing up, military Blue 4s were a really big deal. I remember them sitting in 2012, I believe, when they re-released from 06. And again, them not really being the biggest deal because they were kind of like sitters or bricks back then. But me still doubling up, me still trying to buy as many pairs as I could. Just seeing the black military, I wear black a lot, and I just think it's a really good sneaker. I've worn the pair that I have a few times. I haven't worn it a lot yet because I like to wait. But I just think that's kind of like an instant classic, that the quality was good, the presentation was good. I think it was way better than the Pooh Shiesty 4s, which are the black red Thunders. We call them the Pooh Shiesties because of the suede. Something about that black military 4 really calls my name. I really did like the Canyon purples, but I wore them one time and the netting started to crack, which really upset me from a quality standpoint. And it being a women's sneaker also makes me feel a little iffy about putting them in my top 10. So yeah, for number 5, I'm gonna put the black military 4 there. GR wise, I think that's the best non-OG GR retro that came out this year. And if you don't agree with me, tell me why.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, you could probably, like, people might have liked the UNC 6s and weird shit like that. That shoe is so clean and just so right. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think you can't look at the black military 4 and say like, what's wrong with this shoe, other than it not having Nike Air on the back. That would be cool, but I think they leave that for sneakers that Jordan wore, which is cool. I'm starting to realize that they only do Nike Air on stuff that seems to wear. But yeah, that's kind of, I really like that shoe, and I like selling people a shoe like that because I don't know, I feel good about it. It's a good shoe. I think they'll wear well. You can match them with everything. It's an everyday shoe, not like a lot of these other shoes that are coming out and you gotta like fight to match the fit and you can't wear them every day. I don't know, I just think it's a good shoe.
I will make my GR of the year, a non-OG GR of the year, either the Georgetown 6 or the Dark Iris.
It has to be the
3.
Georgetown 6 for you, Jordan.
It's one of those too. I don't know, I just like the materials on it. I just think it's like, it's simple, it's gray and blue.
And you're right, they have the nice box. It's a lot.
It's a nice shoe. And the Dark Iris is just, again, like the purple is really subtle, and it's like, I'm one of those people of the belief that you can wear purple with almost anything, and purple complements a lot of things. And it reminds me of Fire Red 3, so yeah, like, I'll put one of those two as GR of the year.
So I guess I'll go to my number 4. My number 4 is the Bape Marvel Pack. I'm a little back and forth on my list and like order of my list, but the Bape Marvel Pack is so big for me just because growing up buying fake Bape sneakers off the websites, when my mom would let me borrow her credit card and me and my friend would give her the cash, and then we'd buy like fake retros and fake Bapes off sites like CanKicks.com. It's just funny because occasionally I would look for the Marvel Pack Bapes on eBay, and if you do that, you'll see the prices are always so crazy. You can never find your size. I just always wanted them, and when I saw that they were coming back out, I saw that they were pretty much impossible to get, but I pretty quickly just went on StockX and Go and kind of just decided to buy the whole pack just because I like looking at them in my little man cave at home. And I don't know, it just brings back a lot of memories. I've always wanted them, being able to buy them now, and just them bringing that pack back, the whole presentation on it, the whole, literally each one being a like action figure. You can hang them on the wall, you can put them on the floor, you can like put them together. I would say my favorites out of the pack, what the tough part is they just released more to the pack. So they released the Spider-Man, the Venom, and who else? Someone else, but I already had Doctor Strange. So I do want to get the Spider-Man, the Venom. The Doctor Strange I'm not really pressed on. I keep going back on like my favorites from the pack, but the Hulks were like crazy to me. I guess I'll call them my favorite for now, even though I kind of go back and forth between the Hulks. I also really like the Thors. That yellow's crazy. The Iron Mans are crazy. You know, growing up I was really into like superheroes and comics and drawing and stuff like that. So when they brought that back, I was just really excited about it. It was like right on time for me. Hopefully I'll wear a pair soon. My gripe about it is, why make a 9.5 and not make an 11.5, babe? That's all I want to know. I gotta get an 11 or a 12, and it's like the 12 feels a little big, the 11 feels a little tight. It's like, why can't you make an 11.5? That would have been nice. Other than that, it's cool that they brought them back, and that was my number, what, 5 or 4? I don't even know. 4. Okay. So Berman.
Alright, so 4 for me, it's more closer to the end of the year when it came out, is the Orange Lobster SB. Oh man.
That was getting close for me. It was close. I just feel like I'd be falling into the hype. I'm not gonna interrupt you.
Right.
But me personally, I feel like I'd fall into the hype if I put that shoe in my list. Just
I did see it in a bunch of lists that I saw online.
of course. It's like it has to be on everyone's
I get
list.
it.
You know?
It's a lobster.
That lobster line in general is just insane.
It is. Yeah.
And the fact that they threw in an orange one is just,
Yeah.
Oh man, and one of my favorite colors, gotta say, is orange. So whenever I see an orange sneaker, an orange silhouette, especially on an SB like that, like damn, they absolutely killed it. And when I saw Evan's pair, when he brought it into the store, that whole special box, the cherry on top, you know, they threw in the bear brick. The whole box itself is pretty dope. I just love seeing a lobster being like re-released or re-retroed in its own way, in its own different color. I'm just excited to see how people like put fits with them together. The orange just pops, it just screams orange. And I just love how like all of them kind of scream in their own way with their different colors. The purple ones, the red ones, the blue ones, the green ones. Just love the whole lobster line. So at number 4 is the orange lobster SB.
It's funny because my number 4 is the orange lobsters as well.
Oh hey!
That was like a shoe, like I didn't know where to put it at on my list, but when I put all my shoes together and I just kind of like ran down the list, I have this weird connection with the lobster pack because like the first shoes I ever traded / bought here was the purple lobsters, and I just always regretted getting rid of that sneaker, especially when the price jumped. So when I wanted it again, like that shoe was like $800, $900 used in my size. That price is astronomical for that shoe. The orange pair is just way more wearable than the purple. Again, it screams, like it's just really bright. It just screams out to you. It's also really subtle as well. It's just like a really like cool sneaker. Again, it's like a sneaker I'll probably like, you know, like if I go to like a school party, something like that, I feel like I could wear that with like a Bears jersey, just something like that. So it's just one of those sneakers where like I was just really feeling that sneaker. Even like when I first saw the sneaker, I was just like, I gotta have that sneaker. Like I'm gonna get that sneaker regardless. So it's a really cool sneaker for me.
So we're at 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we already talked about this shoe, but my number 4 is the Stussy Air Max. We already talked about that. We already talked about that. But yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, it's up there. Damn, that's high.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. What's your third?
My third, I think it's the Raw Amethyst on my third. Yeah, Raw Amethyst. We don't have to talk about those.
Third, I know what my top 3 is. I don't know what I put them in order. Number 3, the General Purpose Tom Sachs. Not that pair, but the original gray pair. I'm a big fan of Tom Sachs. I personally feel like everything he puts out is a banger. I feel like he has no misses on any of his drops. You know, other people may think otherwise, but for me, the original Tom Sachs are my grails. I'll probably never ever get that sneaker because that shoe is like $5,000-$6,000. I don't think it's worth that much. And that gray pair is just like, it's a great everyday pair. I call it like a utility sneaker because, you know, you can literally wear it anytime, anywhere with anything. It's simple, gray, gum bottom with a hint of blue. They're comfortable. Again, just one of those things to me where when I saw it, I just like, I had to have it. Again, it's not like an overly popularized sneaker that like everyone's going out there and getting and like the streets are calling for. So that's why I like it too, because it's different.
My number 3, we already talked about it like a ton of times. The Joe Fresh Get Passed Out pack. I'm not gonna say much because we already spoke about it. It's definitely up there just because I just love that silhouette and that sneaker. So shout out to Joe Fresh Goods.
Number 3 could arguably be number 1, but I don't wear them. I already spoke about it, but the Rick and Morty LaMelo Ball I think should arguably be number 1. Just again, totally changed the landscape of basketball sneakers in general. I think totally brought a brand to the forefront of sneaker culture, which wasn't there. Puma was literally a joke 5-10 years ago. Now in the last couple years, last year being like I think the biggest run for them, all of a sudden they're like right there with a Kyrie, with a LeBron, even better to the kids on the basketball court than a LeBron, than a Giannis. You know, everyone wants LaMelos. We sell them a lot. We have a history of trying to buy them on video a lot. Parents come in here a lot trying to get them. We get calls a lot about them. Again, I think it's not only just a sneaker, but it's a collector's item, and it again just really cool when I see a brand do something that you're like, are they really going to do that? And then they do it, and it ends up working out for them. I think Nike probably is kicking themselves for not offering LaMelo more money. I think Under Armour, all these other brands are kicking themselves, and I think Puma made the right decision, and it's just really cool to see something like that, and that is why they are number 3 on my list. Number 2 is the Nike Air Kukini, the water colorway.
Really?
Damn!
That's a
I
curveball.
love that shoe, bro. I've been trying to go back and forth with it, and it's just weird because
I like that though. It's
I
different.
just
I like
always
that.
want, like, I remember my
that.
dad, I just remember like that beat up shoe look back in the day, and then I remember looking them up on eBay, and then they dropped, and then just the other day I just saw the water colorway back, and I didn't even know they were coming back, and I was able to get them under retail. They're super comfortable. To me, I just love that shoe. I bought a pair for my pops for his birthday. Since we're talking about Stussy's, the ones that they brought out, what were those called? The ones we can't sell with the Kukini on
Like
it.
the Spirit on
The Spirit
Uncaged, my fault.
So yeah, I was really into that shoe, but I was into that shoe because I wanted a Kukini again. And I didn't even know what the Kukini was, honestly. I just remember, that's that funky retro Nike that I used to see all the time that wasn't really cool back then, but now that I'm older and I don't give a shit, they're really cool to me. I love that shoe, man. And
it's funny, you talked about it, but I didn't think you were gonna have it this high.
Yeah, I love that shoe. I really do. It was on the fence of where I have it, just being like how much appreciation I have for it, how easy it was to get. I love wearing stuff that people aren't wearing. I love liking things that people don't like, people don't understand. I was super excited to get them in the mail, super excited to put them on. I went a half size up just like I thought, and they fit like I don't know, I just really love that shoe. I was going to wear them today, but instead I'm wearing my number 1 shoe. We're not going to go there yet, but that's my number 2 shoe for 2022.
Damn, I gotta respect that.
Yeah, even though I kind of got them recently, but I mean it's 2022, and I was like, wow, these are you know. And I saw them when they first did them, and the colorways they put out were all pretty trash. They were just weird colorways, and I was like, I love this shoe, but where are the cool colorways? And I saw the water one, I'm like, wow, they're bringing it back here. So
that's fine.
Definitely a great shoe to me for sure. Berwin, your number 2.
All right. My number 2 was kind of a toss up between 2 and 1, but my number 2 is the Lost and Found Chicago.
Okay.
Wow.
You said that already, but yeah, that's
that's number 2.
That's number 2.
Wow. Jeez,
Yeah.
that would be number 1, man.
So that shoe, that Chicago, I mean, you guys,
You know the top.
everyone on the channel, even like people who come in here, they always like, yo, did you get the Lost and Founds yet? Yo, did you get your Chicagos yet? I did. You guys saw it in the video. Everyone I knew was kind of anticipating for me to get them. And when I got them, let me tell you guys, one of the best feelings in the world compared to certain other things. But
how was that number 2?
That's weird.
Yeah, no, that's my number 2 shoe.
Why can't I guess his number 1?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it right now. And
Did we talk about your number 1 already?
We did.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx. No, let's wait.
Oh,
for it.
I
All right,
know
Jordan.
what it is. I know what
I really don't know.
I know what his one is.
I told the guys earlier off camera, like my top 3 was unanimously like 3-way tie. It was really, really hard choosing the number 1. Right now, my 1 and 2 can easily be like flip flop. You know, it depends on like the day I'm feeling, what shoe I want to grab. But as it stands today, my number 2 right now is that green Jounce 990 V3. That sneaker it's up there for one of my most worn sneakers in my collection. I remember bringing them out at a sneaker show last year and not seeing anyone with them, and that feeling, just having something that no one really has, you don't see all the time, is one of the greatest feelings. It just fits my niche. I just like simple stuff. The price tag was a little crazy, especially at the time, but to me it was so worth it. I wear it with everything. I was able to double up on that sneaker. I would easily do it. So yeah, that's number 2 for me.
Yeah, that's crazy to me because my 1 and 2 are definitely interchangeable, but I'm gonna put my number 1, and my number 2 is also the olive Jounce. Ever since I saw Jordan wearing them, I don't know, it's just that color green is just crazy to me. And it's a very basic shoe, so I don't know, I guess it's kind of weird me putting it up higher up there, but I love that shoe.
Just playing devil's advocate, I feel what y'all are saying. My thing is that price is just
The price definitely hurts.
when you look at the red
hurts.
Teddy Santis and the navy Teddy Santis, those 2 are the ones that I really like that I recently got. And the raw amethyst, right? It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's just like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you know, if you like, it is cool. The black end's really cool on it, and like obviously the off white on the mid and end cap part. But then again, like price doesn't really matter. If you like it, you like it. It doesn't really affect it. But for me personally, as much as I'd love that shoe, that's hard for me. But then again, it's cool that a certain colorway is like, hey, you see someone wearing something like that, it's like you know, it's if you know, you know. Just like a lot of things, a lot of stuff, it's like a subtle flex, and that's probably because of the quantity they made on them was not a lot, which is cool to see.
It's funny you said that. Like it's one of those sneakers, like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Because again, like
people will walk in, you probably offer that to them for $200, they'd be like, nah.
Exactly.
And it's like that's a $600 shoe.
You know, like
right?
us, like we're in the sneaker world, so like you know, to our families and stuff like that, like they'll look at any New Balance we wear and say like, oh, that's probably like, you know, just a regular New Balance. But like, you know, when you in that world and people know what you have, and it's like, oh, like you got those on, like those are crazy, you know. So it's just cool knowing like I could wear stuff, you know, around family stuff like that, and them not really knowing what it really is, but knowing like this is some shit really.
Right.
What's your number 1 then?
My number 1's pretty easy. It's gonna be the Lost and Found.
Okay.
For me. It's just I've never had like a Chicago, and the color is a little bit weird to me, but honestly they just look so good on feet.
Oh, I think I know what Burns.
I know it is too. I know it is.
They look so good on feet, so I had to put Lost and Found as my 1.
Interesting.
Me and Evan know that feeling.
And they're comfortable, bro. They're very
one
comfortable.
for the first time.
Yes, that too. That too.
My number 1, again, it's like one of those sneakers, like if you know me, you won't be surprised about the selection. It's a shoe that I wasn't, I call this shoe trash. as I do with a lot of other sneakers, I called this shoe trash until I saw them actually like being worn on foot in person and stuff like that, and I was just like, wow, like, the pictures just ruined this sneaker. Like, this shoe in person is like really crazy. Again, it's very simple. It fits my niche. I never really undeadstock a sneaker the same day. Like, it usually takes me like weeks, maybe months to do that. I got this sneaker right away. I changed the laces and I wore them that same night. They gotta be the Travis Scott Phantoms. Like, to me, that's my favorite shoe. It's probably arguably one of my favorite sneakers in my collection already, because again, it's black and white, it's simple, but the lacing, the fat laces on them, reminds me of, it's just like an Osiris or something like that. Just like, it gives me really like skater vibes. I love the skate culture. I don't skate, but like I really respect the skate culture and stuff like that. So that sneaker, it really speaks to me. And again, like, it's like number 2 on Travis Scott low list for me, possibly 1 depending on how I'm feeling that day, but this Travis Scott Phantom 1's snuck in at number 1 for me this year or last year.
My number 1, well, for starters, we said yesterday that we were going to talk about sneaker of the year yesterday. And I was like, shit, I might as well wear my sneaker of the year today if we're going to talk about it.
I knew it.
So,
I knew it too.
my sneaker of the year,
I knew it.
bow, the yellow Tom Sack general purpose sneaker. The white one's also up there as well.
That's low-key crazy.
It's
Yeah.
That Berwin has that.
I'll explain why.
No, I mean, you don't have to. It's not right or
I
wrong.
love it.
It's not, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah,
Like,
because
it's not
you
right
can
or
wait on
wrong.
that.
I mean, it's an appreciation for that as opposed to
So-
something else.
The reason I put it up there so much is because I feel like sneakers need to be worn, they need to be beaten. You guys have seen my collection video, you guys have seen shit my shoes have been through. And the fact that a shoe like this came out specifically to be beaten, to be worn, and the idea behind it is to be just cooked, is just what I loved about it. And also Tom Sachs, he's like one of the best sneaker creators, especially with his first model that he came out with. And a lot of people beat those shits up, regardless of how much those go for. So the fact that he came out with these at a more affordable price with a great look and a more widespread release, you know, it was really awesome. A lot of you guys out there are probably like, wow,
I lost if that wasn't number 1.
it wasn't. It's number 2. It's still up there, but I just had to put these at number 1, just sole fact that these are meant to be cooked, beaten, and worn. Yeah, that's my reasoning, and I did order the other pair. It's coming in soon, so you guys will see that. But yeah, I had to put these at I had to put these at number 1.
That's very interesting. So my sneaker of the year, as much as I'm kind of like going back and forth now, but you know, out of respect, they still have to be sneaker of the year for me because of, you know, a lot of things are consistent on sneaker of the year. What they remind you of, the time they bring you back to, stuff you kind of always wanted, and all that stuff. And as corny as these are, and as easy as they are to get, and as easy as they were to get, and as hard as they are to unlace currently for me, these right here are definitely sneaker of the year. Oh man, playoff 12s. As I wore them all day, they still run like kind of big like the 2012 pair. The reason these are sneaker of the year for me is because I just remember being in college, they came out, I had to drive to this mall in Massachusetts trying to get them. I got them. I wore a pair a lot. I ended up giving them to my friend so he could wear them because I sized down. You know, Jordan dunked on Mutombo with these. It was just a sneaker that I really wanted. We bought a lot of them in videos. You know, not a lot of sneakers excite me like these excited me this year. I don't know why in particular that is. Maybe because the pair I got in 2012, I couldn't really wear that long because I was wearing them in a 10.5 because we set the size down, and at the time I was wearing 11, so I was wearing them in 10.5. And it's a really cool shoe. Again, wearing them all day, how clunky they are, how kind of bigger a fit they are. They're not as enjoyable to wear as my Kukinis are and stuff like that, and Air Maxes are, but they just bring me back to a time. It was really cool that Jordan Brand brought them back. It started the year off right, I think. Like, people were lining up for these, even though they're not going for anything. You know, we even had the infamous YouTube video about me, you know, complaining about someone trying to cut me in line for these. As much as I tried not to have this as my number 1, I just thought it wouldn't be right for these not to be my number 1, just because, again, this was the only sneaker I felt like I was excited for this year. And actually, there were probably more sneakers that I was excited for, but I don't know. This is just like one of the sneakers that I would continue to buy. I'll keep buying them now. You know, we do still sell them. Price isn't the best, but you know, this is just my sneaker of the year because of all the memories that it gives me, I guess. You know, makes me feel good.
I was gonna say, I really like that pick. I mean, you know, 12s are not the most popular Jordan, so.
But when they were, like, that's the other
and
thing.
that's the
Like, I
just
just remember back when, you know what I mean? It's
100%.
just to see them make them again, everyone be able to acquire them and wear them, and them not be be worth $400-$500 and I can just like, you know, enjoy them. I just feel like the greatest part about sneaker of the year and opinions and just collections and all that, just like people like what they like, people appreciate what they appreciate. Certain shoes make people feel certain ways, regardless of how comfortable an Air Max is, a Nike is, a Yeezy is, like all these other shoes other people wear. There's nothing like putting on a fresh pair of retro Jordans. That's just how I feel. There's nothing like getting a shoe on release day. There's nothing like opening up that box and smelling that brand new pair of Jordans. Like, there's nothing like that. Nothing will ever compare to that, in my personal opinion. That's why I just felt like a retro Jordan had to be number one, as well as this one being such a like significant part of my life with memories and all that stuff. You know, I've said it before, but don't let, you know, a price of a sneaker or what everyone else thinks of a sneaker deter you from loving it or having it as your number one. I know Berwin and Jordan talk about and wear the Tom Sachs a lot, and they grew on me because I see them a lot, and again, I like that, oh, we gotta wear these in to make them look good. So things grow on you, people's opinions change and all that stuff, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for me. Again, back to the LaMelo Ball, I think arguably, grand scheme of things, the Rick and Morty's the number one shoe because of what it did for the culture of basketball, for the company, for the brand, for LaMelo, for the kids. Because at the end of the day, the kids are what's important, guys. I mean, let's just really like sit there and think about it. I'm going a whole different way here, but like, let's just really think about what's really important, what the kids are doing, what the kids want. Arguably, that would be it. But for me personally, playoff 12.
One thing I really like about everyone's list, especially like the top three, we all have different tastes and stuff like that. Everyone's list is just like very unique and different. And like for me, when I look for top 10 lists, that's what I look for. Just people who have something different. Like having the Kukini. If you ask anyone who's in the sneaker world, like that's crazy. But like when you really think about it, just like it's really not that crazy because that's just one of those late 90s, early 2000 trainers that like you just had to beat it to really understand the windbreakers and stuff like that. Like the Nike caps with the glasses, like the Oakley glasses. Like it's just one of those times, you know. So like just seeing everyone's different opinion. Berwin, you know, really winning in Chicago, but having a general purpose as a top shoe is fire. Evan having a John in there too is just really cool. So I really like how everyone list played out because it's so different, but it's so unique to who they are and to their niche. I think that's the important part about, you know, these top 10 lists is like it's not about what's hype, it's not about what's popping or popular or whatever. It's about like what you like. You know, I'm seeing everyone putting the AMA 4 in there, but like, do you guys really like the sneaker? Because it's hype. Like, is that why a lot of you guys are putting there? If you guys genuinely like the sneaker, you have it there, that's totally fine. But you know, I just feel like there's so many great sneakers that doesn't get talked about, that needs to get talked about in these top 10s. Like you said, like LaMelo Ball, like that shoe had the streets going crazy, especially All-Star Weekend. Like
that's crazy. I haven't seen one person mention the LaMelo Ball Rick and Morty's being on the top 10, and to me that is absurd. And I get it that we all have our own kind of things that we like and we wear, but that doesn't mean you can't see the outside noise of what's going on. But again, not any list is right or wrong, so I guess it's not that crazy that, you know, not everyone has it.
I like how everyone's list kind of, it's like curated for them.
Yeah, what they're into, what kind of, and it's funny because like, you know, you guys put the lobsters in there. No, I probably would never put the lobsters.
So I thought about putting those type of shoes in there, but a part of me is just like, if an orange lobster comes out and I don't go like to the app and try to buy it, how can I put it in my list? That's kind of what I was trying to do. Like the LV Air Force, like even that was hard for me to put in it, but because it's such a big deal, I think I had to. That's kind of what hit me. And like what Jordan said, there's not many shoes you get. You open the box, you put them on. Like the Kukini, that was it. I got them, opened the box, started wearing them around my house. I'm like, I can't wait to wear these out, and I can't wait for people to look down at my feet and be like, what the heck are those? That's also like somewhat of my list. I try to not go too crazy with things I don't have, because yeah, there's always stuff that I can't get or that you want that comes out that you're just like, you know, like the off-white Brooklyn green Air Force, you know, like that's a really cool shoe, but I don't wear them, and I didn't, you know, go bite the bullet yet to make sure I got an 11.5, but I think it's a really cool concept, really cool shoe.
It's funny you said it because like my top 10 is stuff that I have. Like I have every single sneaker there besides one, which is the off-white, not the off-white, the Chicago Tues. Like I have every sneaker. I wear all those sneakers. Or I probably haven't worn a couple of them. It's sneakers that I generally want or wanted, and I got like so.
I think I have everything other than one. Also, I don't have the
LV,
Kobe.
Right?
Oh, actually two. I don't have the Kobe, obviously. And I don't have the LV Air Force.
I almost put the Kobe on my list, but
honestly, I think I should take the LV Air Force off just because I'm not in that tax bracket yet, and I don't think that even if I was in that tax bracket, it's just not a sneaker that I don't know how to explain it.
I totally.
You have to be a different type of person to treat that as a sneaker. It's not even a sneaker.
No,
it's a designer luxury item. That's not a sneaker. Scratch that. That's off the list, and we'll just add something else there. One of the many retros, because right before the LV, I put all those retros. So there's like too many retros. One in particular we can put right in there is those black and purple 13s because I really like those, as well as the other stuff. But again, I'll take that off because now that I'm thinking about, we're talking about sneakers, we're talking about shoes that we want to wear on our feet, beat up, run around, play basketball, dunk, all that stuff. I just know if I even got an LV Air Force, that shit would sit in a case and not get worn. I would just think that the $3,000 I put towards it could go towards our car or my bills and stuff. So I'm not even gonna put that on my sneaker list.
What is your favorite out of that though?
Well, that's the problem because I feel like I've seen so many colors. Like
I really like that red pair.
What, the Kukini?
No. The
you're talking about
LVs.
the LV Air Force.
Yeah,
I
like
asked that earlier.
out of the colors, like which one would you, if you got a free one, you know?
I gotta look at the list. I like what they.
I would honestly. I
red.
like the
Also
all
like,
black suede.
really.
And I just think, I mean, look, the monogram pair, the classic monogram pair is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And that's not even
I also like the
obtainable.
green pair too.
That's
like
That's
green.
my favorite one.
I mean, I can't even pick which one, but I'm gonna take it out because I'm not that guy.
I go blue. It's funny that you're speaking about the LV trainers because when I was watching that brand's panel, Jadakiss goes, he's like, yeah, like the LV's like it's in there for me, yada yada yada. And then someone said like, what's your favorite color or like which ones you have? He was like white. I'm sorry, if I'm spending like 10 bands,
Well, that's
I'm about to get a white on white LV.
Well, that's the thing.
but-
To them, 10 bands isn't 10 bands. 10 bands is $100. 10 bands is $1,000. Like whatever 10 bands is to them, to us, it's not that. To a lot of people, they think about Air Force. They're thinking about a classic low top white on white. They're not thinking about all this other shit. So, and I know Jadakiss ain't dogging them shits anyways. From that aspect, I agree. From our aspect, yeah. But for him, I get it because it's like, why not get that all white, that Coke white one that you just gonna like, oh my gosh, like not only those all whites, but they're the all white LVs. But again, collaborating with Nike is crazy. Louis Vuitton and Nike is pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy, man.
But like Adidas did it too. Well, Adidas did Gucci, but still, it's just like.
But it wasn't an Air Force.
It wasn't.
It wasn't Gazelle,
That's the
but
other
like,
thing. An Air Force to me is such a staple
Like-
that I almost put that whole pack with the toothbrush on my list.
my
Even though I
problem.
didn't even get them yet.
My problem with those designer brands is that like they're not making it for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
that's why I
Make it
took
for
it
them.
off.
it's like
That's why I
and I
took it
think
off.
that's whack because you're still in the street swag and you're making it for like these rich people, like the people who was wearing
Well,
the fake fake Louis designs and stuff
Well, the
like that. They
problem
don't get a
is,
chance.
the problem is, if either one of us right now wanted to go buy one, we probably could. Is it the smartest decision to make? No. There are a lot of people ignorant out there who have $4,000 sneakers but drive the bus or take the bus. Yes. So that's a problem with these things. Is as much as you think they didn't make it for us per se, who is us, right? Like we could sell some things and go buy LV Air Force. Do we think it's smart? No. So that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys liked it. Again, it's just our opinions on what sneakers we like this year. Hopefully 2023 brings a lot of great sneakers. I already know that I'm, anticipating the white cement 3s as well as everyone else. Yeah, I mean, most likely that's going to be sneaker of the year next year. But we'll see. Shouts to everyone for watching. Appreciate the support. Anything for the people, guys, let them know ASAP.
Leave a comment down below whose sneaker list was the best.
Yeah.
And whose sneaker list was the craziest? Even if it was mine, that's okay. Let us know what your favorite sneaker is, what sneakers deserve to be on the list, what sneakers don't. I want to know what sneakers everyone's sleeping on, sneakers that you haven't heard on lists that should be on lists. I know I already got honorable mentions that I haven't mentioned, but I'm not going to mention them now because we've been talking way too much. Drop it in the comments. Appreciate all the support. Peace.